To see the posterior mediastinum, we have four major structures that passes through the posterior mediastinum. These are the thoracic aorta, or descending aorta, the azygos vein, esophagus, and thoracic duct. First, the descending aorta are the branches that goes to the bronchus. We have bronchial branches, the esophageal branches, and the posterior intercostal arteries. From the azygos vein, we have the azygos vein communicates the inferior vena cava in the abdomen to the superior vena cava. This is the azygos vein. It joins the inferior vena cava at the abdomen, and then the azygos vein goes up to the superior mediastinum and all the way up until above the pericardium. Above the superior mediastinum, above the pericardium, and binds to the inferior vena cava, and then goes to the right atrium. So the azygos vein is a communication between the superior and inferior vena cava. The thoracic aorta, azygos vein, and thoracic duct pass through the diaphragm at the T12 vertebral level in the aortic hiatus. The thoracic duct, it begins from the hiatal cistern at L1 level in the abdomen and ascends through the aortic hiatus and drains to the junction between the jugular vein and subclavian vein on the left side. So here is where the thoracic duct, now the lymph is uniting with the venous blood. After the thoracic duct, is posterior to the esophagus and is between the aorta and the azygos vein. Next, the esophagus passes through the hiatus of the esophagus at the 10 level of the vertebral level, here together with the vagus nerve, and we have constrictions of the esophagus. We have 4 constrictions. First is obviously at the pharynx. Next, posterior to the aortic arch. Third, posterior to the pulmonary bronchus, main pulmonary bronchus. And 4, at the crura of the diaphragm. This is at the diaphragm hiatus or the cardiac. The esophagus is posterior to the left atrium and posterior to the left bronchus. So we have aorta, thoracic duct, azygos vein, esophagus. And the descending aorta contains branches of the posterior intercostal arteries, esophageal branches, and bronchial branches. The azygos vein and the thoracic duct goes with the aorta through the aortic hiatus. The aorta is descending, both the azygos vein and the thoracic duct are going up. The azygos vein is communication between inferior and superior vena cava, and the thoracic duct is between the aorta and the azygos vein. The thoracic duct is when all the lymph from below the umbilicus, both right and left, with exception of the popliteal artery, popliteal area, drains. And we have the esophagus that is posterior to the left atrium, posterior to the left bronchus, and is and passes through the 10th vertebral level through the esophageal hiatus, and with the vagus nerve. Actually, the vagus nerve The right and left forms the anterior and posterior esophageal plexus that cover the esophagus, respectively.